Hey, what's going on? It's your host with the most, from coast to coast, giving you a double dose of the Holy Ghost. I'm the man, the myth, the mogul in the making, Musa, the mental mechanic, author of the book, Forever Fearless. Hope you're all having a great night, and I just wanted to introduce you and welcome you to the greatest podcast in the world, Late Night Great Night, sponsored by Forever Fearless. And as you can see, we got that two-tone titan on. So without further ado, let's get into the subject for tonight. Tonight I want to talk to you about the power of preparation. And I want to start off with a small story because, just to give you context, when I was a child, my father used to tell me the story of David and Goliath, and there were so many lessons to be able to pull from that story. But one of the biggest lessons for me was the fact that David prepared for that moment. Yes, we know that he killed the giant, but before that time, before that defining moment of destiny, there was a time of preparation. And I think that a lot of times, especially in this newer generation, we look down on that preparation time, but that's everything. That's the glacier underwater before the tip actually rises, right? And so in the story of David, for those that are not familiar, his father obviously was a farmer. He was, sanctioned to tend to father's sheep, right, and protect them. And sometimes he'd have to protect them against lions or bears, right? And all he had was a slingshot. Now, he could have just slacked off on that and been like, oh, I don't want to do this, but he was faithful in the small. And that's why he got blessed with a bigger, greater opportunity. And I've lived long enough to realize that, man, God will bless you with opportunities. But the worst thing in life is the fact that you come into an opportunity and not be prepared. And so in this manner, throughout those years and years and years of training and becoming very skilled with his slingshot, he'd been able to kill those lions and those bears. So when it came time for him to then present himself in front of Goliath and be ready for a real fight, there was not, oh, hey, let me go get ready for this. I was actually playing around this whole time. It was like, no, I'm ready right now. And there's so much power in that, as being ready right now. Because what we have to realize in life is that favor, like a lot of people say, or quote unquote luck, is when preparation meets opportunity. I know that God can bless me with opportunities. And if I truly believe that he's going to bless me with opportunity, then what I need to be doing is preparing for that. If I truly believe that he's going to bless me with a wife, then I need to be preparing for that. That's why I work so hard. That's why I save so much. People are like, man, why you be going so hard? You already killing everybody in the game. You already got money. You got savings. But really, in my mind, I'm always telling them, I'm like, hey, listen, I am working hard for a wife that I haven't met and children that I don't have yet. Because I know that I will have children by the grace of God. I know that I will have a wife, again, by the grace of God, right? And so if I truly believe that, then I need to prepare for that, which is why I save the way I do, I work the way I do, I move the way that I do, because if I know that I'm going to have a son, I want to live a life that he's going to be proud of. I'm preparing for that. I don't want to have to explain to him why I had to sell drugs. I don't want to have to explain to him why I had to go to jail, because I was making ignorant decisions, because I wasn't thinking ahead of time. And that's why it's so important for us to have a vision, and especially for the ladies, because in relationships, I do believe that, yes, there's a head, but I also believe that the wife is very important, but you also have to be incredibly careful who you're attaching yourself to, right? You want to be very, very, very careful of that. Because again, you can't have the blind leading the blind, and you can't lead somebody unless you have a vision, right? Unless you have foresight. Because if you're leading and you don't have foresight, then where are you seeing? You have to be able to envision where you're going. And so ladies, if a man can't tell you what he wants to do in his life, why do you think that he's gonna know what to do with your life? That's why you get into, I've seen relationships, read my first book, where I talk about one of my friends who got strung along for 10 years. She's like, yeah, I want to get married after, 2 years. He's like, yeah, for sure. I got you. 3 years go by, 4 years go by, 7 years go by, 8 years go by. And then on the 10th year, he's like, oh, just dumps her. And then gets with his old high school sweetheart. And so she's not going to get that 10 years of her life back. But if she would have understood that, hey, this man needs to have a vision before he approaches me, then, things could have been very different. She spent the 10 of the best years of her life chasing a man who didn't know where he was going. And so I want to lovingly encourage you to boldly ask people, hey, where are we going? Even in any organization that you're part of, any church, any whatever establishment, hey, what is the end outcome that we're trying to get here? Otherwise, if you're not preparing, then you're playing, right? You're either playing or you're preparing. And again, if you look at people who are preparing for a marathon, they understand what they're about to get into, and that's why they prepare for that. I believe deep down inside, David knew that, hey, listen, right now, no one might think anything of me, but I believe that at some point I'm going to get an opportunity. And for all of us, we're going to get blessed with opportunity, whether you're ready or not. That's the thing. And so either that moment is going to promote you or destroy you and demote you, because you got to think, in that situation with Goliath, it was life or death. And I'm grateful that obviously he was prepared, and that's what allowed him to become king at some point. But for a lot of us, we're in our time of preparation, and we might think, oh, well, I don't like being at this job, and I don't like knick-knack and this, and I don't like the way, I don't want to have to do that. But you got to be faithful in the small. And so in that regard, I just encourage you to not despise small beginnings. I want you to really keep those things in mind, because even my drill sergeant said, if you fail to prepare, then you are preparing to fail. If you fail to prepare, then you're preparing to fail. And if you truly believe that you've got great things coming, then guess what? You need to save your money. Then you need to move in a certain different way, right? My father, when I was very, very young, used to make me say, oh, it's me, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be a pastor, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that. And so in my mind, it was already ingrained of how I was gonna be acting. I'm like, well, doctors don't be drinking and smoking and doing all. That's why till this day, at 36 years old, I still have never drank in my life, right? I've still never smoked in my life because of conversations that me and my dad had when I was like 5 years old. Do you understand that? One conversation 30 plus years ago can still hold weight, And so, again, family, I just encourage you to prepare, because, if you're like me, you believe that, man, that God is on your side, that He wants to bless you. But again, He blesses you with opportunity. He's not just going to drop gold bars out of the sky for you, but He'll, even like the word says, like, man, He will give you the ability to gain wealth. And so He'll give you the ability also in those opportunities, right? You got to be faithful with the small. You got to be faithful with what you got. And so, family, again, I encourage you to prepare. It might not look like there's, a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have no idea what tomorrow holds. And that's why you have to be faithful in today. All you have is today. Don't think about, oh, how am I going to be like this for the next 40 years? He could change your life. Everything can change at any time. Everything can change at any time. I'm telling you, the same way I used to be homeless, I lost everything at one point. And I remember literally the following day, I just prayed, and I was out on the street, and I remember I'd gotten a call pretty much immediately afterwards, and that call is what changed my life. But you got to be prepared. You got to stay sharp. Even when I didn't have a job, I was still preparing. I was still going over sales tactics, and now I'm able to lead a team of a multi-million-dollar company. But you got to have a vision, and then you got to prepare for that. Again, like I said, those people who are preparing for marathons, they understand a marathon is that outcome that I want to get to. I want to finish that strong. Therefore, I need to prepare for it. But if you have nothing to prepare for, then you're just out there playing. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. You're linking up with people that don't line up with your vision because you don't have one. So if I can encourage you, part of that preparation time is sitting down and listening to God who created you, and understands you and built you. He knows the gifts and the talents that you have inside you. So you really got to take that time and get to it. But all in all, I love y'all. I wish y'all the best. Man, go out there and prepare. Because I believe that you are the fearless family. You are the people are going to call when there's trouble. You're going to be the people that they reach out to when the world needs a hero, and they will need one. You're the one who's going to be fearless. So love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Go check out some of that merch. You already know, like I said, that Two-Tone Titan, and so many of the other luxury tracksuits. So go ahead, grab that book as well. Get some luxury literature, as well as some luxury tracksuits. And man, let's keep being brave. Love y'all. Forever.